The mountain hides a truth no one dares to climb. Meet Alex, the climber who knows the mountain's true secrets. The last radio call was made at 9:45 a.m. A routine update from Alex to his team. But after that, silence. No response, no signal, no nothing. The search team was deployed immediately. But their optimism was short-lived as they scoured the mountain's vast expanse, searching for any sign of Alex or his gear. The search team's initial optimism gave way to a growing sense of unease, as they realized that Alex's disappearance was not just a simple accident. The mountain's vast expanse offered no signs of struggle, no footprints, no gear scraps, and no biological trace. It was as if the mountain had simply exhaled him out of existence. The expert who had studied the mountain's unique geology and weather patterns was stunned by the sheer scale of the disappearance. "It's like the mountain simply exhaled him out of existence," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. The reaction of fellow climbers was one of shock, disbelief, and a creeping sense of dread. The bizarre detail that Alex's GPS remained stationary just before the signal vanished has left the investigators baffled. How does a man disappear on a clear day from a busy route? The central question that has been haunting the team is one that may never be answered. The first hint of an unseen force was a low-frequency hum recorded near the spot where Alex's signal vanished. It's a sound that has left the team with more questions than answers. What could have caused such a profound effect on the environment? The investigation has only just begun, and the truth remains elusive. As the investigation unfolds, the team is forced to confront the possibility that this was not the mountain's first silent victim. The climber's past is shrouded in mystery, and the team is left with more questions than answers. What drove Alex to take such a risk? And what secrets lie hidden in the mountain's ancient rocks? The camera tilts upward from a lone boot print in snow, frozen in time. This is where Daniel Mercer once stood, his last known position. His journey began here, years ago, as a wide-eyed novice with a camera slung around his neck. By 30, he had scaled the 7 summits. His name whispered in mountaineering circles as a legend, yet none of his conquests prepared him for this mountain. Daniel's first ascent was a blur of adrenaline and fear. His hands gripping the ice like a lifeline, he documented every step in his journal, scribbling notes between breaths. By 40, he had mastered the art of survival on these heights. His body hardened by the cold, yet something about this mountain called to him differently, like a siren's song. His obsession with this mountain began the day he lost his mentor, Elias Voss. Here, Elias was a man of few words, but his wisdom carved deep into Daniel's soul. The two had climbed together for a decade, until Elias vanished on this very slope. Daniel swore he would find out what happened. But the mountain refused to yield its secrets. Local villagers speak of the mountain in hushed tones, their voices trembling with fear. They call it the Hungry Stone, a place where the earth itself seems to hunger for lives. Shepherds have vanished here for generations, their flocks left untouched, as if the mountain swallowed them whole without a trace. Daniel dismissed these tales as superstition, until he started hearing them too. Records show 3 other climbers disappeared on this mountain within the past decade. Each was a skeptic, a man who scoffed at the old stories, yet none returned. The first was a geologist, mapping the mountain strata with precision. The second, a journalist, chasing a story about the local legends. The third, a rival climber, who mocked Daniel's obsession. All vanished without a single clue. Geologists later discovered a magnetic anomaly here, a pocket of interference that warps compasses and disrupts GPS signals. Instruments fail on this slope, as if the mountain itself resists being mapped. Daniel's own GPS pinged erratically during his final ascent, drifting off course like a lost soul. The mountain had begun to rewrite his coordinates. Daniel's journal entries grow increasingly erratic as he nears the summit. One day, he scribbles about an unnerving presence watching him from the shadows. Another entry describes a wind that doesn't exist, a gust that lifts his hair but leaves no trace of movement. The mountain was whispering to him, and he was listening too closely. Weather station data reveals a micro-wind event on the day Daniel vanished. An anomaly so precise it couldn't be natural. The sensors recorded a gust of air. Yet no trees bent, no flags fluttered. It was as if something had exhaled, and the mountain itself had taken a breath. Then, silence. The wind vanished as suddenly as it appeared, leaving only the echo of its absence. Daniel's past trauma, his mentor's disappearance, had left him haunted. He told friends he would never climb this mountain again. Yet he returned again and again. His devotion bordered on obsession. A man possessed by the need to uncover what had taken Elias. The mountain, in turn, seemed to be waiting for him, like a predator biding its time. Archived photos of the mountain's face tell a chilling story. Shadows here seem to move on their own, forming shapes that shift with the light. Some claim to see a face in the rock, watching. Others swear they've seen a figure standing motionless on the ridge, vanishing when they look directly. Daniel's final photos show exactly that. A silhouette where none should be. We upload videos like this every day. Subscribe so you don't miss out. Television. Daniel ignored every warning from seasoned guides, dismissing their fears as superstition. They told him the mountain was alive, that it remembered those who disrespected it. He laughed, calling them cowards. But the mountain doesn't care about courage. It only cares about those who dare to believe in its power. And Daniel had always been a believer. Every victim of this mountain was an accomplished skeptic, a man who scoffed at the old stories. The mountain, it seems, tests belief. It doesn't take the weak or the fearful. It takes those who refuse to see what's right in front of them. Daniel was no different. He came here to prove the mountain was just rock and ice. But it had other plans. The mountain's dark history mirrors Daniel's fate. Elias Voss vanished here decades ago. His body never found. Friends say he was just like Daniel, a man who refused to believe in the impossible. The mountain, it seems, has been waiting for them both, and now it has taken another. As the camera lingers on the empty summit, the wind howls through the rocks. It carries with it the echoes of those who came before Elias, the geologist, the journalist, the rival climber. All were men who thought they could conquer this mountain. All were wrong, and now, Daniel is just another name added to the list. The forensic team spreads across the jagged slope like ants over a carcass. Every inch of the fall zone is meticulously combed. Flashlights cutting through the dawn mist. Their boots leave faint prints in the snow. But nothing else does. The mountain holds its breath. Watching, they know this is no ordinary search. The first discovery is so small it could be overlooked. A single climbing glove, pristine against the snow. It lies perfectly on the rock, as if someone placed it there with deliberate care. The team exchanges glances, their faces tightening. This isn't just a lost item. It's a clue. The glove shows no signs of struggle. No abrasions, no frostbite, no trace of DNA. It's as if it was never worn. The forensic expert examines it under a portable UV light, searching for hidden marks. The mountain's silence feels heavier now. What happened to the rest of him? Drone footage from the day reveals something impossible. A shadow moving against the wind. It drifts along the ridge, unnatural and deliberate. The pilot zooms in, but the shape dissolves into the mist. The team watches, stunned, as the mountain itself seems to breathe. Was it something? Or someone? An audio recording from the climber's last moments plays over the team's headphones. Breathing is audible at first, steady and controlled. Then, a distorted voice whispers, "Below!" The sound cuts out abruptly, leaving only silence. The team freezes, their faces pale. Below what? The engineer insists the climbing rope was cut, cleanly, as if by a blade. He holds up a section of the rope, the frayed ends still damp with condensation. The team exchanges glances, their disbelief turning to dread. What could have done this? Animal attacks are ruled out. The tracks around the scene belong to ibex and marmots. Nothing larger. Avalanches are impossible. The snow was stable that day. Human foul play. The team laughs nervously at the thought. Then what explains this? The cadaver dogs lead the team to a patch of bare rock, circling it with restless energy. Their whines grow louder, their tails tucked between their legs. The team kneels, scanning the area. Nothing, just a smooth, unbroken surface. They sense something here. Something is missing. Beneath the bare rock, the team discovers a hidden fissure, narrow, almost undetectable. They shine their lights into the dark gap, but it leads nowhere. The walls are smooth, ancient rock sealing it shut. It's a dead end, yet the dogs keep whining. The lack of a body is a legal impossibility. No remains, no evidence, nothing. The investigation stalls, caught in a void of silence. The team debates, their voices growing strained. How do you solve a mystery with no clues? The medical examiner reviews the climber's last physical, flawless. No signs of illness, no hidden weaknesses. The team exchanges glances, their hope fading. If he was healthy, what took him? The final report is filed with cold certainty. Cause of disappearance undetermined. The case remains open. A ghost haunting the mountain. The team packs up their gear, their steps heavier with each passing moment. The mountain has won this round. 2 other climbers on the same day reported feeling watched. Eyes on their backs. A presence they couldn't shake. Their stories were dismissed as paranoia. But what if they were right? The digital void hums with life as we zoom into a sprawling forum titled, "The Vanishing at Black Spire Peak." Threads explode with wild speculation. Some users demand answers. Others revel in the unknown. A viral post reads, "He wasn't just lost. He was erased." The screen glows with neon urgency. Yet no one can agree on what happened. The first theory dominates the screen. Government cover-up. Users drag classified symbols across the forum like digital confetti. One post claims the mountain hides a lost military base, its tunnels filled with experimental tech. A shadowy figure in a declassified photo looms over the text, their face blurred. But the implication is clear. They know something. But the portal theory gains traction faster. Users overlay satellite images of Black Spire with swirling energy fields, citing the climber's GPS failure as proof. One poster drops a chilling statistic. Nearby hikers report compasses spinning wildly, like they're in a storm with no wind. The screen flickers with distorted coordinates, as if reality itself is bending. Then comes the cryptid theory, the Guardian. Users share grainy photos of the mountain's face, where shadows seem to shift into humanoid shapes. One climber's journal entry, leaked online, reads, "It wasn't the wind I heard, it was breathing." The forum erupts in whispers of a mountain spirit that collects those who disrespect its slopes. A deeper dive reveals the time slip theory. Hikers claim to step back in time near the peak. One poster shares a blurry video of a climber from the 90s, standing on the same trail as modern-day hikers. The timestamp on the video reads, "Recorded yesterday." But the climber's gear is outdated. The forum debates, is this proof of a temporal rift? The cult theory surfaces next, with users digging into old records of a mountain-worshipping sect. A chilling post reveals 3 disappearances in the same decade, all climbers who ignored warnings from locals. One villager's testimony, translated from an old language, reads, "The mountain hungers. It does not take the weak, it takes the bold." The forum falls silent as the implication sinks in. Yet, despite the wild theories, logic refuses to die. A forensic expert scoffs at the portal idea, pointing out that no energy signature was detected. The cult theory is dismissed as ancient superstition. Even the time slip theory falters when users note that no other hikers have reported similar incidents. The screen fills with skeptical replies. This is just a missing person case. Then, a retired NASA physicist steps in. His theory is simple yet terrifying, a localized gravity vortex. He points to the climber's GPS data. which shows a sudden, inexplicable drop in signal strength. Like stepping into a pocket of warped space-time. The forum erupts in disbelief, but his credentials lend weight to the idea. If the mountain can bend gravity, what else can it do? The most shocking evidence yet. A rock sample taken near the climber's last GPS ping. Carbon dating reveals it's 1,000 years younger than the surrounding geology. The forum explodes with theories. Was the mountain born anew that day? Did time itself unravel? A user drops a chilling quote from an old geology text. Some mountains are not just rock, they are alive. While the world debates, the climber's family mourns in silence. His widow clutches a framed photo of him on the trail, her hands trembling. A news reporter asks if she believes in the wild theories. She looks away, voice breaking. I just want my husband back. Theories won't bring him home. The camera lingers on her tears as the forum's chatter fades into the background. Yet, the mystery's allure is undeniable. Sales of mystery whistle gear, supposedly to ward off unseen forces, spike by 100% after the case goes viral. Shops stock shelves with eerie talismans, each labeled, "For those who dare to climb." The camera pans over a display of whistles, amulets, and strange stones, their packaging dripping with sensationalist claims. Protect yourself from the unseen. The climber's glove, now encased in glass, sits in a museum as the artifact from the vanishing. Visitors cluster around it, pointing and whispering. A child asks their parent, "Do you think the mountain took him?" The parent hesitates, then nods. The camera zooms in on the glove. No abrasions, no frost, no trace of struggle. It was removed deliberately. By what? The final clue comes from the mountain's live webcam. A flicker. A shape resembling the climber, standing on the ridge. Then, nothing. The forum erupts in screams of, "He's still there." But the image dissolves into static. The camera lingers on the blank screen as a voiceover whispers. For some, the mystery is more compelling than the truth. The question lingers. What if the mountain never let him go? The screen cuts to black. A final text overlay reads, "What if the mountain wasn't just a place, but a living thing?" The camera pans to the mountain's shadowed face, its rocks seeming to breathe in the wind. The voiceover lingers. The truth may be stranger than we can imagine. The question remains, are we ready to face it? What is the dark truth behind this event? Share your theory below and watch our next investigation. Welcome! Before we begin, hit subscribe so you don't miss our daily updates. Tomorrow's video will reveal this secret. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Shushing face.